Welcome everybody to this installment of the Straight Edge Game Room. Today we're going to be going into the Monday Night Wars with WCW Nitro for the PlayStation. Let's get into it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Gene Okerlund, and I'd like to welcome you to WCW Nitro.
In the 90s, there were many competitive feuds going on, such as the continuation of a battle between McDonald's and Burger King. Also, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. That war had been going on for years. A new one had emerged between Nintendo and Sega, with Sega throwing the first blow. But in the mid-90s, a new war would emerge between two wrestling promotions, and the grand stage was Monday nights. The two competitors were WWE, at the time WWF, and WCW. On Monday nights, WWE had been running their well-established flagship program, Monday Night Raw. Just a few years later, WCW would run their Monday night program in direct competition against Raw, WCW Monday Nitro. And after Hulk Hogan did the unthinkable in becoming a bad guy, turning into Hollywood Hogan with the rise of the NWO, for approximately 2 years, WCW Monday Nitro was destroying WWE Monday Night Raw in the ratings. While WCW was riding high and strong during this time, it gave way to a lot of WCW branded merchandise, including video games. The game's presentation and aesthetic is very charming and captures that WCW Monday Nitro flavor, but the gameplay itself leaves much to be desired. It's not the worst game I've ever played, but it is a little stiff and it tends to be kind of a button masher. There's different button combinations you can mash for different wrestling moves. What I think a lot of people do in this game is that maybe they'll find two wrestling moves that work best for them, so they'll get comfortable mashing just those two combinations throughout the game. But that strategy doesn't necessarily guarantee you victory, especially when you're playing one-player tournament against the computer. I really like what they did with the character select screen. You start off with 16 WCW wrestlers, each of them with their own promos.
You know, brother, you think you got what it takes to beat Hollywood Hogan? Why don't you climb in the ring and try out the largest arms in the world? Hollywood style.
If you want to wrestle an inch more Ric Flair, you gotta be able to walk that aisle and style and profile. Woo!
Oh yeah! Watch the flying elbow drop off the top rope. Not only beat people 1, 2, 3, but I hurt them real bad.
There's various selections of one-player and two-player game modes you can mess around with. So whether you're playing against a friend or the computer, you do have a decent amount of variety. You can have your traditional one-on-one matches, and if you want to play dirty, you can call someone in to interfere in the match. But remember, your opponent can do this as well. You can even have a tag team match. But if you want to really mix up this game, you can go on the internet and enter some secret codes. Now you can play as other WCW wrestling personalities, not just wrestlers, but managers, announcers, commentators, even some blasts from the past, as well as some ridiculous fantasy characters. You can also play as some of the game's developers. There's even a code where you can play in some fantasy wrestling venues. You want to play as the Giant against Santa Claus in a floating wrestling ring? Sure, you can do that. You want to have a match in a winter wonderland? That can be accommodated. Can you beat up a snowman at the disco? Absolutely. You want to have a tag team match in the jungle with a wasp and a T-Rex against a skeleton and a ghost? Sure, why not? WCW Nitro is very charming and amusing, but the gameplay is very average at best. It's very quirky, but thankfully it's not terribly expensive and it's very easy to find. Kind of a middle-of-the-road game, but for how inexpensive it goes for, it's worth picking up. Well, that about wraps up this installment of the Straight Edge Game Room. If you enjoyed this program, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions for any video games or video game accessories you'd like to see on this program. And I'll see you again next time. Take care.
Hey there! How'd you like to get power bombed? Come on, pick me. I'm begging you, pick me. Please pick me. Begging you.